All right, here we go. This is my first question. Before I ask you the question, I just wanted to fill in a few things about these videos and the following videos that are going to come up, just to kind of give you guys an understanding. I'm not going to actually have these videos be able to be rated, and I'm not actually going to be able to just have free comments. I'm going to be able to check the comments that you leave me. There's two reasons for this. Not that I'm not interested in what you have to say, but first of all, rating system, I found that people just feel like if they give you a 1 star, if they rate you badly, somehow they have victory over the conversation and the argument. And these videos aren't actually even going to be an argument. I'm just going to simply ask these questions for the hopes that you guys will respond. So I'd love for you guys to respond. But however, ratings is not really, it's kind of irrelevant to this, the whole point of these videos. So I'm not going to have that be in. Second, the comments. I'm going to actually check them because, one, I'm a youth pastor and I feel like a lot of my students are going to be watching these and reading the comments, and I just don't want any profanity and things like that. So I love to be able to check to see if they're appropriate. If it's just a disagreement and it's a valid disagreement, I'm going to easily put it on the website. I'm going to confirm it because I welcome it. But again, keep from the profanities and just straight insults, and really try to dive into these questions. And so that's why I'm not going to have ratings, and I'm going to check the comments. It's not anything against you guys and what you have to bring to the argument. It's just for just everyone's overall well-being.
Well, unlike you, I will leave both the ratings and the comments completely open.
Okay, my first question is this. As an atheist, there's certain things I feel like you have to accept. And again, if you disagree with me, feel free to comment. The first thing is this. You have to accept the premise that everything came from nothing. What I mean by that is, again, we talked about it. If you accept the Big Bang to be the explanation of the Earth, we still don't know what created the Big Bang. That's something that we still haven't figured out if you believe in the Big Bang. So you have to initially accept that something came from nothing because you don't know what created that Big Bang.
No, I do not have to accept the premise that everything came from nothing. That's a creationist belief, not an atheist. Although we do not yet have a comprehensive explanation as to how the Big Bang was initiated, nor anything else before the Planck time, that in a way implies nothing. However, I won't use that as a way to slip in an unsupported postulation to fill the gaps of my knowledge. Further, the Big Bang isn't what formed the Earth. The Big Bang precedes the formation of the solar system by over 9 billion years.
Second premise, to believe that non-life produces life, meaning at one point in the evolutionary process in which you guys believe, you have to believe that something that wasn't living came about to become living, whether it was through millions of years or what. You have to accept that a non-living thing became living.
Evolution does not equate with atheism, nor with the origins of life. Evolution is diversification of life after it's already here. Prior to anything that could be definitively called living, there would have been less efficient, self-replicating chemical reactions that would be nearly indistinguishable from life.
Right? You have to accept that randomness produce fine-tuning, meaning something randomly involved, and eventually produce something that is intelligent, that has reason, that is very specifically fine-tuned in order to exist. You have to accept that.
Evolution isn't random. Evolution is guided by natural selection, and natural selection is deterministic, which is actually quite the opposite of random.
You have to accept that chaos produces information, meaning at one point it was chaotic, right? An evolutionary process, it was chaos, and eventually produced information and produced something feasible, something intelligent. One is you have to accept that unconsciousness produced consciousness. At one point in an evolutionary process, clearly, in the beginning, they couldn't have an awareness, they couldn't have a consciousness of their existence. But eventually, through the evolutionary process, they had, somehow, because we know that we do have a consciousness of that we are here and we exist. So at some point, there had to be some sort of consciousness. So you have to accept that unconsciousness led to consciousness. And lastly, you have to accept the idea of non-reason produced reason, right? At one point, again, in an evolutionary process, there was non-reason, right? People couldn't reason. Things couldn't reason. Things weren't living. And eventually, they got to a point where we can reason. I mean, we're talking to each other on YouTube. We're reasoning with each other.
Consciousness and reason are both functions of the brain, which in a social species such as ours would be definitely selected for.
So those are the things that you have to accept. So my question to you is, these are very big leaps. These are very big things to have to accept. Are they something that you can accept? And if so, why? And how can you do that? All right, that's my first question.
So, in summary, I actually don't have to accept any of those points, and at the same time, I don't need to invoke any kind of a supernatural creator to fill in those gaps.